I'm here to tell you all officially today that I have given my life to Christ. But I'm sure a lot of you already knew that, so naturally you'd ask why I've come here with this all of a sudden? Well, it has occurred to me that not only that my channel is about to be a year old this year, but that I haven't made a video like this when I feel like I should have from the beginning, especially when my walk in faith began almost a year ago, come November. As random as it sounds, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and with how much these past 10 months have completely changed my life as a person and my heart overall when it comes to my sense of direction of where my life may take me down the road, I thought I would make somewhat of a definitive statement that will serve as a reflection on certain time frames in my life that have built up to this point. Now, if you're new to the channel, this probably won't really mean too much to you since I don't think most of my subscribers know who I was prior to the channel's creation, let alone my debut on the internet overall. So if you guys want to click off this video, completely understandable. Though if you are curious, by all means, feel free to stick around and listen, as I appreciate your guys' support nevertheless. So with all that being said, let's get into it. To start off, this video will be for those who have either known or remembered me over the course of the 5 to 6 years I've been on the internet, or at least when I've made my rounds of interacting with various communities starting from late 2019 to now. And possibly, maybe even way before that in some rare cases, but I'm not really going to get into that part. Some of you probably knew me as well, while my username is now technically in a lot of places, asitlore146. This was a name I had when I made my debut on the internet during my sophomore year of high school before COVID back in 2020, when I started interacting with various communities on Discord and whatnot. I would use that name until I rebranded for reasons I still don't really get why to this day sometimes, all the way in mid-2022, which was sometime before I graduated high school that year, where I would then go by the Fear Crow name, that most of you might actually remember me or recognize me as, where in that time I contributed a lot to the Lost Media community, and it would be for a good amount of time, and I even still do to a good extent to this day. It really just all depends. But I would have that name up until April of 2024, when I would revert my name back to Asitlore before kind of dropping everything altogether after what was a very rough time for me last year. July to be exact, around the time I turned 20, which after a good amount of months, I think, that would actually lead me to lead me to starting my new YouTube channel now. So there's that, and then after that, I would change my name to what it is now, update it rather, because my name's kind of the same a little bit if you really think about it. I would update it to as Talor in a few weeks, or months, I think, after its creation, if I'm recalling it all correctly. So yeah, again, there's that. But one of many reasons of me stating this and making this video, though this being the least important out of all of them in my opinion, is that I know very well that with how the modern age of social media can be, is that if I somehow became mainstream at any given time, not saying I'm Mr. Popular with 10 million subs, or will I ever be, no, that people will take any step to dig any potential dirt from the past, that of which, when I get into it later on in this video, I will make it very clear that I'm going to be leaving all of that behind me. And but not only that, but they'll use that as a way of potentially slandering me in ways that would obviously accomplish nothing but promote flat out hate, which I will very much disavow and preach against. Which brings me to my next point. I know that within my entire time that I have been on the internet, in that span of 5 to 6 years now, that I have had my fair share of drama that occurred during what was also a very hard time in my life the past 11 years, as I was battling not only depression and anxiety for one, but dealing with various toxic environments around me, which, as you may guess, have also influenced, if not a lot, of my actions in regards to how I went about things, whether if it was some random third parties mostly, or, well, myself without me realizing it at times. Now, with all that being said, I know there's a lot of you who probably haven't kept in touch with me for many years, and I'm sure for some, it certainly wasn't an accident. Keep in mind what I said just now isn't to make any dumb excuse as in, oh, I was in a bad headspace, you guys. To avoid any sort of accountability, as I, in fact, want to present the opposite here. Um, so, so with that said, I'm here to tell every one of you who have known me since those various eras today that I have turned my life over to God. Indeed, I have. Um, I've had many regrets over the years and done things I'm most certainly not proud of. And while I won't name any specifics for the sake of potentially reigniting drama, instead I wanted to make this video to serve as an apology to those I've hurt over the course of this past half a decade now. Now, just to keep in mind that in these past 9 months, I have in fact went out of my way to reach out and for the most part successfully reconcile with a good amount of people I've met over the span of time and still actively doing so whenever I can think of anybody. Which brings me to my final point of this video. And with that, I finally come here to say that to every single one of you, all who, whether I haven't reached out to you or uh, still hold a grudge or think I haven't changed in any way since those days, that I just want to say I'm sorry for absolutely everything, and this is coming from the bottom of my heart. Before I move on to the end of this video and just give my final thoughts here, really, I just want to encourage everyone watching this video that if you have a problem with me whatsoever, please do not hesitate to reach out. I am very willing to handle things on a civil and personal level, as I'm also willing to take initiative to straighten things out and doing whatever steps I have to take doing so. I want, and I am, genuinely trying to change my life for the better. But with all that said, if you guys stuck around this far into the video, I thank you very much. My intent of making this video is not only to apologize, but to have this reflection serve as a fresh start for me and my time on the internet onwards, and the future ahead in regards to my channel as well. And as I said in the beginning of this video, I've grown to have a massive change of heart over the past year, and I've come to realize I'm no longer pursuing my old way of life, which for all my life, to put it shortly, was pursuing a false sense of fulfillment. But then I realized something, and after talking to a great friend of mine who's like a mentor to me, if I had to say, I kept thinking about the realistic possibilities of where my life may take me in the next few years or so, and to keep in mind as well that at the time of me making this video, I only turned 21 a few months ago, and I'm currently going through a weird, uncertain time in my life I've been dealing with for the past 3 years since I graduated in regards to my future career and just where my place may be overall in life, as well as dealing with the physical complications that came from what's happened in the past 11 years. And semi-accounting, though, I will say that at the time of me making this, that things are getting a lot better. Things are really looking up, though I won't lie when I say it's definitely been a struggle at times. But then I realized something. After I stepped out online and settled down a bit, July of last year, as I said earlier, when I kind of ended up dropping everything altogether, and after I talked to my friend, sometime a few months ago, I believe it was sometime before summer, and who I'll also add, she helped me kill a very big demon of my past, I'll add. And I felt God calling to me and guiding me on where to go from here. And you know what? It dawned on me not too long ago that I can actually change the world in ways I never thought was possible. The social media landscape tends to make us feel lesser and lesser by the day, especially when you have influencers that show off their mansions, Lambos, Ferraris, and endless supply of cash. You name it, they have it, and you don't. And if there's anything God taught me, is that one of the very things wrong with this world is that your worth is determined by what you have and not who you are as a person. And I'll just remind you guys, and while I won't name names, we have a lot of evil people in this world that are famous, and many very much allow that. And I mean, mind you, this is the same world that crucified the perfect man. John chapter 15, verse 18 through 25. And without us realizing it, it's very easy to forget sometimes that nowadays we often brush groups of people on the side, whether that be police officers, firefighters, doctors, just to name a few. But then there's others that we see, a lot in your day-to-day life, whether that be school teachers, professors, janitors even. And all those people are the most important people we could ever ask for as a society. And with them probably not realizing it themselves at times, they do so much for this world to make it a better place. And, then I would have to ask you this. And, it's just what I've been thinking too. When was the last time we really personally thanked those people who could have very well have helped you on your journey in life to get where you're at now? Even if it's weird, even if it doesn't make sense, it's something to think about, because I don't think we all really take that into account sometimes, me included. I know myself very well in that regard as well, which brings me to my final point of this video. I know very well that I'm just a regular guy. I'm sure you've heard that phrase not too long ago. I may be an autistic 21-year-old Christian man, but, I'm just like you guys at the end of the day. I'm no big influencer. I'm no rich guy. I'm just someone who loves Jesus and likes to play video games, and hopefully you guys love them too. That'd be really cool. I also know that, judging from what I've been saying all throughout this video, is that in whatever actions I take and whatever I do in life, I bear a very big responsibility. And now, regardless of what I do in life and whatever career my future may hold, I recognize that anything you say or do to a person can determine the impact of their lives. And if there's anything my interaction with my friend, if my interaction with my friend has anything to go by, I can very much say she's more than contributed to changing my heart in the ways I'll be explaining to you right now. As a Christian content creator, I have willingly made the choice to make a family-friendly channel for the most part, and I'm sure all of you already know that. And in doing so, as a Christian, I've been making it a point to glorify him in what I do. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. And if you guys see the gameplay videos, I try to spread the message of the gospel in any way I can, like the Bible verses and the videos as well. It's all to say that not only am I genuinely trying to change my life for the better, but I really want to help and serve, and to top it all off, point everyone in a positive direction in their lives. My God encourages us all to do that, and if me doing so has me live up to his image, I wouldn't want it any other way. And I know me saying it doesn't mean much, because let's face it, a lot of you don't know me, and if you don't believe me, that's perfectly okay. And I hope going forward I can change your mind in the long run on that front. But of course, that's not up to me. That's completely up to you as the viewer. Now, it should go without saying, I've fallen short much like everyone else. Romans 3:23. I'll never claim to be some saint or a good person at that. Like this video has reiterated many times, I've cussed before, and in fact, you can find clips of me doing so on my channel. If you watch my first couple videos, I've made insensitive jokes regarding topics that should not be joked about in the past, and have said derogatory things as well on top of that. And, and as I said in the video, and while it's not an excuse by any means, I can very much say to you that it has been a long, tough road for me these past 11 years. And, but despite all that, I've never been happier knowing where I am now, especially knowing what I've had to go through to get here. And depending on how things go, God willing, I can very much say a fresh start is something I could look forward to. I've had a very fulfilling life, and no matter what happens from here, I'm very grateful for the very little that I have and been given. And if God forbid I leave this earth tomorrow, I can die knowing I've made the best memories with friends and families and online I could ever ask for. Another thing going forward, I'm going to continue to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to take every day to live up to God's image and not act as a tool of man as I lived before. If I can put a smile on your face as you've watched my videos, that's more than I can ever hope to strive for. With that said, if you watch this video all the way through, God bless you guys. Seriously, I thank you for sticking around to the end. I really cannot wait for what the future of this channel may hold. Again, God willing. But thank you guys for all the support on this channel the past year, and and for those who have been around longer since 2020, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for putting up with me in not only my best, but also the worst times again. Thank you all for watching, and as always, have a blessed day and take care. May Christ be with you all, as he's changed my life completely. Peace.